Prince, one of the hardest working musicians who ever lived. The man slept 4 hours a night, recorded entire albums in a weekend, built a compound in Minnesota just so he never had to leave the studio. And in 1998, he moved to Spain. On Larry King, he said this.
What I found that I like most is from 2 to 5, everything just shuts down.
Siesta.
Yeah, and everybody just chills and they take a moment to just gather their senses. I think, we probably need to do that here in America sometimes.
So, in other words, what at 2 o'clock every afternoon, you stop doing whatever you're doing?
Well, there's no stores and shopping and things like that. All that shuts down and just allows everybody a chance to just regroup and, think about life.
The workaholic of workaholics found peace in a country that forces you to stop. That's what we're talking about today. I've been to around 50 countries, lived in about a dozen. Being a film producer will do that to you. Project ends, you move, project starts somewhere else. You stop thinking of yourself as being from anywhere. And in all that travel, one place kept pulling at me. Spain, Barcelona in particular. I blame a movie. 1994, Walt Stillman directed it, called simply Barcelona. 2 American cousins, one salesman, one Navy officer, stumbling through the city in the 1980s, falling for Spanish women, arguing about life, getting accused of being CIA. Sounds like a comedy, and it kind of is, but what Stillman really captured was what happens to an American when a European city gets its hands on them. I watched as a kid, and something inside me went, yes, that's what I want. And eventually, I got it. This week's The Texas Nomad newsletter, link in the description, goes deep on Barcelona. The practical stuff, visas, cost of living, what to know before you go. This video is about the bigger things underneath all of that. What Spain actually does to you, and why more people are moving there than ever before. Back to Prince for a second. He bought a villa in the hills above Marbella, southern Spain, overlooking the Mediterranean. Bought it as a wedding gift for his wife, Mayta Garcia. Pink walls, purple interior, very Prince. And sitting on that balcony, he wrote some of the most melodic work of his later career. He also said something I always come back to, very short. Recreation means the recreation of self. And then Spain just demonstrated that for him every single afternoon. Between roughly 2 and 5, Spain stops. Shops close, streets go quiet, people go home or sit, have a long lunch. The whole country collectively decides that the middle of the day belongs to living. And Prince, who could literally not stop working, called that spiritual. Said America needed it. The most productive creative force in American music found his battery recharged by a culture that forced him to put it down. I want to be clear. I'm not here to trash the USA. I love America. I live the American story. Film producer, project to project, hustle to hustle. And America is genuinely extraordinary at making money. Scott Galloway said it perfectly. Make your money in America, spend it in Europe. America has the infrastructure, the risk capital, the cultural permission to want more. Nobody shames you for moving up. You want to start a company? People will fund you. The whole system rewards your at-bat count. That's rare and worth preserving. But go sit in a cafe in Barcelona. Watch what people talk about. They take a second coffee, maybe some chocolate y churros. They watch people walk by. Business doesn't often come up. Europe's had startups too, but theirs were 1,000 years ago. There's a cathedral in Barcelona that Gaudi started in 1882, and he never lived to see it finished, the Sagrada Familia. These impossible towers that look like God told a tree to grow in a church. Some cultures measure ambition in centuries, not quarters. And what that produces in the daily cafe, in the afternoon quiet, is people who actually know what day it is, what they're working towards. That's what people are chasing when they move to Spain. So I finally got to Barcelona, climbed the Sagrada Familia, Walk the Gothic quarter. Medieval streets so narrow you can almost put your hands out and touch both walls. Got lost in Gracia, which used to be its own town before the city swallowed it, and still feels like that. Went to the Barcelona Zoo to see the albino gorilla. Snowflake, the only albino gorilla recorded in history, lived there for 36 years and is still beloved by the city. I'm standing there reading the signs at the zoo, thinking my Spanish got terrible. Turns out my Spanish was fine. The signs were in Catalan, which is, and I say this with complete affection, a completely different language. Barcelona is in Catalonia. They have their own language, their own identity, their own very strong opinions. You will be surprised by this the first time. You're welcome. Then I got on a train and went to San Sebastián, and I ate the best food of my life. The jamon iberico de bellota, acorn-fed Iberian ham, aged for years, sliced as thin as paper. Whew. My favorite restaurant on earth is Tabari, just outside the city, where the chef Victor has made everything by hand and grills everything, including things you wouldn't think to grill, over all different types of wood fire. It tastes like food was before we got in such a hurry. Barcelona will always have a piece of me. Now, if any of this is landing and you're thinking, how would this actually work? The answer right now is better than it has ever been. Spain launched a digital nomad visa in 2023. Quietly became one of the most popular relocation visas in all of Europe. Short version, if you work remotely for a company outside of Spain or a freelancer with clients, you can apply. You need to show roughly 2,850 euros of income per month. Apply from within Spain and you get 3 years of legal residence right away. Flat 24% income tax, and 5 years in, you can apply for permanent residency. The golden visa, which you might have heard about, is gone. Don't trust those internet sites that tell you it is. Spain killed it in April of 2025 because it was pricing locals out of their cities. That door is closed. The digital nomad door is open. A single person living well in Barcelona should budget somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500 euros a month. It is the most expensive city in Spain, that and Madrid. Keep that in mind. The full breakdown, documents, income thresholds, the non-lucrative visa for retirees, the whole language situation, that's in the newsletter. Link below. Prince moved to Spain at the height of his powers and wrote some of his best music on a balcony staring at the Mediterranean. He said, recreation means recreation of self. If this landed, subscribe. Share it with someone else who's not escaping their life, but designing it.